Hi, my name is Jerry McNamara. I'm the pastor of Gethsemane Lutheran Church and Preschool, and it's my joy to get to serve here, to get to serve you, your family, and all the families that are part of this wonderful neighborhood, this wonderful area. I'm going to make a short series of videos right now about being a blessing. In fact, I'm calling it Blessed to Be a Blessing. And I really hope that these can be a blessing to you and your family. I really believe one of the reasons that God has us here and in and among the people that we're with is so we can be a blessing to them. That we can give out of our hearts what God has given to us and give that to others. Sometimes we'll do it for strangers, sometimes we'll do it for friends, but I think one of the most important ways we ever give a blessing is to our children. In the 80s, when I was getting ready, being married and thinking about starting a family of my own, I read a book called The Blessing. And that book takes a look at what the Bible describes as a wonderful 5-step or 5-part approach to giving a blessing to our children. It's recently been revised for the interconnected meta world that we live in today. And I really highly recommend you find that updated copy so you can learn even more. But in a few short minutes, I want to detail for you the 5 parts of that blessing, and then also focus in on one of them in this first video, focus in on a few more in some videos to come. So those 5 blessings that the authors Gary Smalley and John Trent found in the Bible are this: meaningful touch, like comforting a child, or that hand on the shoulder that encourages them and helps them keep going when they're facing something they've never tried before. Second, a spoken message of love and acceptance. I can't think of anybody who doesn't need more love and acceptance in this world, but they detail that quite a bit in the book. The third is when we attach high value to the person we're trying to bless. I'll say a little bit more about that one in a minute, but first let me get the last 2 elements here. That we picture a special future for that person. Telling a child something like, wow, when I saw you stand up to that bully in playgroup, I was so proud of you. I could really see you being a person that's going to stand up and help out other people. Just one example. And the 5th and the final one then is our active commitment to seeing the blessing we've spoken into our children actually come to be. Now, those are the 5 elements. I want to spend a tiny bit of time on the 3rd one here in this video. And as I mentioned, then I will explore others in a couple of videos to come. Let's explore a little bit what it means to attach high value to someone. And I'll start with just a short story for you. I grew up in a family that was touched pretty strongly by alcoholism. Very isolated from the rest of my parents' siblings, very isolated even than us from our parents, because we were just doing whatever we could to survive in the midst of that chaos and dysfunction. I suppose in their own way, my parents were just doing all they could to survive, but there weren't a whole lot of blessings shared. I wanted to be different. In fact, one of the things when I thought about this idea of attaching high value to someone, what's something I wish I had heard as a child? Or what's something that I did hear that was really meaningful to me? And that list was really kind of a starting point for thinking about this. So today, specifically, I want to talk and share with you some thoughts that have come to my mind and heart about giving our full attention to someone. Today's world, they tell us that something like 8 hours a day we spend on screens, giving our attention there. And I know there are times in a busy store, in a long trip, there are moments when it is very helpful to occupy our young children with screens. I get that. Would never judge anyone for it. But I also know that there is a blessing, a gift waiting when we give our children our full attention. Let me describe it this way. Maybe you've seen it you're out at a restaurant. You see a couple desperately trying to have some time together, and they're allowing their child to look at a screen. They're occupied. Their eyes are fixed and focused. But then this moment comes when mom or dad turns and talks to the child, and you see the child's eyes just absolutely change from being occupied to being joyful, brightened up. Here's how the Bible puts this. In Proverbs 15, verse 30, it says, "Bright eyes bring joy to the heart." Imagine putting down whatever we're reading, putting down whatever program or screen we're looking at, working on, and just giving our full attention to our children. Showing them we value them by giving them our attention. The second thing I really truly believe is our active listening. You know, I grew up, again, my era, with my dad behind a paper, and as I'm trying to describe and talk about my day, all I heard was, yeah, oh, wow. And just no attention given there at all. What a difference we can make. And again, we set aside our distractions, we pull them from theirs, and we listen. What was the high point of your day? What was the low point? What's something you love to do? What's the hardest thing for you at school? What do you like best about your friends? What kind of person are you friends with? We can learn so much about the specific blessing we might want to give to our children when we really give them our attention, when we listen, when we make ourselves students of them. I think another way that we give our full attention to our children is when we set apart time for them. Now, in today's world where we can time shift the programs that we watch, we can always put off the sports game that we might be interested in or the baking show that seems to, we can't wait to watch. We can put that off to another time with the miracle of technology and shifting that time to record it, watch it later. We don't always have that ability with our children. Sometimes we just give them the scraps that are end of the day. One of the habits I know I learned and still try to work on is that on my commute home, I'm working on decompressing from my day, setting aside anything that burdened me or anything that still has to get fixed for tomorrow, worked on. I'm setting those things aside with the hope and the prayer that I can be fully available to my children when I get to see them face to face. Otherwise, if we're all tense in traffic, if our mind's all still occupied by that, when we arrive there, we need those few minutes to decompress, and we can really lose some valuable time when they want to share with us. One of the counselors, one of the mentors I had in my life said something that has shaped my parenting, and I hope it can be a blessing to you and to your child. Children spell love T-I-M-E. Your time that you carve out, a half an hour set aside for your child on a Saturday. This is going to be our special time. Whether it's we go out and get a Coke, or we watch their favorite cartoon, or we read their favorite book and talk about it, whatever it is, setting aside that time, maybe even calling it a date if it's a father for a daughter or a mother with her son. A special time with them communicates value in a way that kind of like refurnishing furniture, puts layer upon layer of blessing so they really shine on our children's lives. Well, let me stop there. I look forward to talking with you more about some of these other elements of the blessing, but I really encourage you. You might be able to occupy your child for some time with a screen, but you can make them shine when you give them your full attention and you give them your blessing. All the best to you in your parenting and in life. May God bless you richly. Look forward to talking with you again soon.